A quick look at mass media will tell you what most people probably already inherently know. Teenagers, whether we like it or not, rule the world.
They set out free as a step, the living shit out of me.
One can chalk this up to expendable income, lack of responsibilities, or, especially with modern kids, the rapidly expanding media landscapes. But that 18 to 24 demographic acts as the golden goose for most media outlets. This all leads to my thesis statement and the reason behind this video. Pop music has its strongest effect on a person's psyche right when he graduates high school, and for me, this refers to 2005. Now, if this video represented my actual tastes in music back then, it would look pretty similar to the playlist on Fuse at the time, since my high school loved its indie rock scene, and 2003 to 2005 gave plenty of wonderful music in that regard. However, the Billboard charts I use for these videos pertain to the pop charts, and looking at 2005, we have a different musical landscape to confront.
Story.
As we entered the second term of George W. Bush, the pop scene of the United States sat firmly entrenched in hip-hop and R&B. Granted, some stragglers made their way through. Green Day, The Killers, Weezer, and, of all bands, Papa Roach had hits on this list, but the majority of hits this year felt more at home on what major markets call urban and rhythm radio than corn-fed middle American airwaves. To put this in a less politically correct way, 9 of these 10 entries feature at least one black person as a prominent artist. It looks unfortunate, but sometimes I need to peruse the deck I receive, and this one ended up stacked more towards spades than hearts. Apologies in advance. By the way, if you think you know how this list will look before watching the video, guess again. You may end up removing me from your top 8 on MySpace, and you may leave town entirely on your Razor scooter. But, nevertheless, the time has come to count down the top 10 worst hit songs of 2005. Number 10. Let's nip this in the bud right away, shall we?
This much. All the girls stomp your feet like this.
Not on the list. I know the internet loves to hate Hollaback Girl. It has its faults, for sure. That said, I love the production on this. The choice to incorporate high school marching band elements, keeping in mind how drumline still had relevance, only worked with the admittedly catty message of the song. Gwen needed to go above and beyond to make this list.
Come together all over the world, from the hood to Japan, Harajuku girls. What? It's all love, what? Give it up, what?
Fiddler. No. What have they done to you?
If I were a rich man, yabba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum. All day long I biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man,
And they say Jews have all the money, but
If I was a rich girl, na 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 na. See, I'd have all the money in the world if I was a wealthy girl.
Gwen, you sang with No Doubt for a good decade before this solo record came out. No one buys this charade. Lots of people bought your other music, so we know you have money. Not all the money in the world, but still. Alas, this song subverts the expectations of the listener. See, she would have all this money. If she wanted it.
All the riches, baby, won't mean anything. All the riches, baby, will bring what your love can bring.
So your chorus focuses on having the money, but the pre-choruses proclaim that money matters not. Then why interpolate Fiddler on the Roof? Irony? Regardless, the sentiment would work if designer label name drops didn't pepper the lyrics. Oh, it gets worse.
See Stefani and the Lamb, I rock the fetish people, you know who I am. Yes.
Lamb, named after those 4 pseudo-slaves Stefani hired for this album's promotion. Also the name of Stefani's personal clothing line. Eve also owned Fetish at the time. You simply cannot and should not advertise your own goddamn fashion brands in the same song denouncing riches. Side note, Why pirates? I know Disney promoted Pirates of the Caribbean to no end, but it looks downright laughable when celebrities co-opt that into their music videos.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, pirate so brave on the seven seas.
What?
Number 9. Hey, remember the music of the 1990s? Satellite radio and best of lists tend to shy away from this fact, but DJ-based European dance music appeared absolutely everywhere, and most of it sucked awfully hard. Singles sometimes get a pass for novelty value, but who remembers album cuts from Hathaway, Eiffel 65, Aqua, Benga Boys? Hell, who sings this? The answer? Mr. President. This sounded terrible and dated by the year 1999. But in 2005? Roxette. No! What have they done to you?
I know there's something in the wake of your smile.
Roxette member Per Gessel wrote this song specifically to, quote, recreate that overblown American FM rock sound to the point where it almost becomes absurd. In other words, a European band attempted to cherry-pick the most dated sounds of a genre to try and craft a hit. Watering down one sound may yield short-term success, but long-term, disastrous. Take that and amplify it by a few degrees to get the problem with this. Nothing about the instrumentation of the DHT version, apart from the chord progression, really ties to the original. The primary chord progression, B minor, G major, A major, B minor, appears in so many songs that I almost feel like the song existed without lyrics, and they shoved in Roxette's words to try and latch on to previous success like a parasite. Ed May later released an unplugged version of this song to minor chart success, yes, a cover of a cover, and it sounds more tolerable, but this list needs to rank songs based on the versions that made it big. They wanted this as their big hit as well. Their first album had the same name as this song, and their second album had the same name of this song. DHT stood for Dance, House, Trance, but marketing referred to them as Definite Hit Track. DHT also stands for dihydrotestosterone, a sex steroid that causes male pattern baldness, one of the defining depictions of something past its prime. I feel this version of the initialism works best. Number 8. Staring at the walls of text I wrote for the last 2 entries, I want to confide in you, my viewers, that not every entry on this list will feature such long-winded explanations of my dislike for them. Sometimes the music speaks for itself. Come on, raise your hand if you genuinely seem surprised that this made it on the list.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside your trunk?
I'ma get you drunk, get you love drunk off my hump, my hump, my hump.
This and Hollaback Girl volleyed back and forth among music publications as the worst the year had to offer. While I already spoke my piece regarding the latter, this earns a spot on the worst list because of what came prior. The Black Eyed Peas may seem like jokes now, but they had decent credibility. They provided nothing groundbreaking, sure, but I find nothing necessarily bad about any of this. Adding Fergie to the ensemble led to no adverse effect on their momentum, whereas The Love holds up rather well in my opinion. But this?
What you gonna do with all that ass inside them jeans?
I'ma make you scream, make you scream, cause of my hump.
Will.i.am originally wrote this song for the Pussycat Dolls, but, in his infinite wisdom, decided to hold on to this gem and give them Beep instead. Not that Beep and its combination of so-called double entendre that a simpleton could understand, and a horrendously misplaced sample bring any sort of quality. ELO. No! What have they done to you? And check. Comedy 101. I could rail against these misogynistic and underwritten, both in content and in product placement, lyrics, but Alanis Morissette singing the song with a straight face accomplishes this far better than I could ever hope.
What you gonna do if
Black Eyed Peas and will.i.am in particular would later come under fire for mashing together two unrelated musical ideas in their songs. Just Can't Get Enough comes to mind. But My Humps closes its 5.5 minute runtime with this interlude. I find myself hard-pressed to find lyrics that take up more space with less content than "so real" repeated ad nauseum. Why? Thankfully, most radio edits of the song truncate the song prior to this part, but what if I told you I like this part more? The piano's textured chord progression layered with more earthy percussion sounds far more pleasing to my ear than the bed tracks of the rest of the song. When the leftovers of leftovers make up the best part of your meal, you need to clean out your icebox. Someone call the appliance guy. These peas have started to rot. Number 7. Furthermore, if you wanted to actually call your appliance guy in 2005, you needed to bust out a telephone book. Yellow Pages. Let your fingers do the walking. Speaking of phone numbers and embarrassingly dated references...
Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot hoes all on me. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot hoes all on me. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot.
I can only assume hoes no longer want.
My grill, before I got my major deal, these hoes wouldn't give a damn if I was here. Shit.
We get it.
I said before the ice was in my grill, before I got my major deal.
We get it. Verse number 3?
Before my paper came, before I got my fame, these hoes that's popping on me now didn't even know my name.
Oh, come on, man.
But then my name start blowing up quick. Now they jumping on my dick, cause they see me on the rise and know now my paper thick.
Only your paper got thicker, huh? That explains why your phone number now leads to an erectile dysfunction hotline. Number 6. Seriously, I have no idea if that number leads to an ED hotline. I don't encourage anyone to try that. Even if you called, and this serves as a PSA for all of you, no one wants to see your dick. No one. Do you hear me, Snapchat? No one wants to see your dick.
Wait till you see my dick. Wait till you see my dick. Hey, bitch. Wait till you see my dick. I'ma beat that pussy up. Hey, bitch.
Just when I thought the dulcet tones of Kane and D-Rock could not make me blush any more than they did with their sweet serenades of ha! Along comes this piece of purple prose. Purple due to sexual assault.
Beat the pussy up. Beat the pussy up. Beat the pussy up. Beat the pussy up.
Boys, if you want to sound dirty, at least provide some clever rhymes. Let's run through the rhyme scheme of the first verse, okay? Ear and hear. Soft and soft. Can and man. Fed, head, said, bed, head.
See the redhead being fed bread on his sled made of lead as he sped to be wet, but he fled instead out ahead up to Ted in his bed, and he said,
Hey, bitch.
Speaking of children's entertainment, you can call the Yin Yang Twins prophetic at the very least. They predicted the appearance of a Pokemon the world would not see until 2010. I know the sexual assault line may have come off as crass, but this song may have prevented at least one case because it inspired the first hit from an artist known for such debauchery.
We could get some friends, do it like the Yin Yang Twins, start whispering. Let me fall back.
Without the Yin Yang Twins, Chris Brown's hoes might have remained loyal. Someone share this advice with Mike Jones, too.
Walk around the club with your thumb in your mouth.
And check this girl's license to verify her age.
Put my dick in, take your thumb out.
Check it now! Number 5. Indeed. Brooke Valentine started her music career in the girl group Best Kept Secret. I never listened to any of their music, but if this breakout solo hit represents that secret, I wish it stayed hidden. This chorus blows. 6 people wrote this song, but none of them apparently realized that the song defeats its own message.
There she go talking her mess. Acting real hard, but I know you're faking.
Funny you should mention that, Brooke.
Just and if a friend wants some, then she'll be next. About to catch one right in my little. Go real hard, about to swing them things.
Take your own advice.
On our way to your neighborhood. The reason why we coming is understood.
Because you want to go to the land of make-believe? Valentine can't sing, and Lil Jon's beat leaves a lot to desire. Big Boy, save this song, please.
The one on the right is the girlfriend, and the one on the left is the other woman.
Big Boy making this all about himself for some reason.
Someone please call security. These girls too pretty to get down to the nitty. What? I mean the nitty gritty. Okay. I mean her pretty. What?
No wonder Outkast had diminishing returns around this time. Everything about this sucks. Moving on!
Damn, Shawty, you got knocked up.
Number 4. And speaking of terrible beats from otherwise interesting producers,
Girl, give me that pussy. Girl, give me that. Girl, give me that. Yeah, girl, give me that pussy.
Webby picked up this garbage fire tossed off one lazy afternoon by the Neptunes and somehow made it even worse with his misogynistic lyrics.
You know you want it, girl, don't act like you don't want it. Girl, you want it just as bad as I do.
Then again, we let Kodak Black have hits in 2017, so I may never understand.
Girl, I want it just as bad as you do.
So, not at all?
Sit you in the crib where you can chill, don't have to move a muscle.
It looks good enough. Let's go.
Come here, let me whisper in your ear, I gotta tell you something. Wait till you see my dick. Long, short, deep, and wide, have you rolling your eyes.
You can't throw out every adjective in the book and assume that it describes your penis in a flattering manner. Sharp? Deep? And the modifiers only get worse in his other verse.
Now I can tell from your size that pussy is fire. So you a big fine horse. Ain't had no choice but to try.
Bun B handles the guest verse on this song, and this man sounds like a soap opera compared to Webby the Rhodes Scholar over there.
She 5'7", 139 pounds, 36, 24, 38, pretty fine brown.
Geez, will you spill her social security number too? Who underwrote this? Equifax?
She sold all his jewels, she sold all his cars. Now she dancing in the Shaker Club, stripping for the stars.
Shaker Club? Now I imagine a bunch of English Quakers dressed in conservative garb around a stripper pole. Knitting.
Let my people bust on the face and the belly with me.
Agnes, I find this song charming! Somehow we let Webby have one more hit, even more successful than this, with Independent a few years later, and his approach changed pretty dramatically.
She got her own house, she got her own car. 2 jobs, work hard, you a bad bro.
You would proclaim your independence after massive rejection from your last hit, dude. 106 & Park banned this guy for sexual harassment, and while you might not have known that, sometimes the profile sticks. Burn in hell, Webby. At least you can take these women with you. Number 3. Here comes some music nerd trivia. Only 7 artists achieved a #1 song posthumously on the Billboard Hot 100, and Static Major ranks as the most recent to accomplish said feat. He managed this as a featured artist on Lil Wayne's smash, Lollipop. I only mention this because Static Major wrote the entirety of this next entry, and let's just say he should really serve as a footnote. Gang rape.
They take me and make me and make me they victim.
The second line of the first verse, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it keeps going.
If they married, I sleep. If they look like weapon material, then I keep them.
Write your own joke. I can't. How much more tasteless can Baby Blue get in one verse?
Dressed up in our money. Not, get your dough like a plum day.
Now, this song came out before Hurricane Katrina in 2005, back when the United States only dealt with one major hurricane a year, good times, but most certainly after the gigantic Indian Ocean earthquake the year before that killed approximately 250,000 people. Why bother worrying about offending the Asian audiences when they all died, right? I had this at #1 for quite some time, but I realized that as awful as this song sounds, I suppose that hindsight contributes to this sounding particularly cringeworthy. and I feel like these four lack the mental capacity to have possibly meant for the song to offend that many people. Surely no one would push this even further.
And his name is...
Come, girl, I'm trying to get your pussy wet. Work that, let me see you drip sweat. Come, girl, I'm trying to get your pussy wet. Work that, let me see you drip sweat. Don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it. Work that clit, come, girl.
Rest in peace, Hugh Hefner.
Fuck your pussy like you want some, girl.
Why yes, this song came out 4 months after the Yin Yang Twins' entry earlier in this list. Combining blatant trend hopping with, lyrics, this honestly only edged out Pretty Ricky to number 2 because this song sounds like someone applied a flanger effect to a sound recording of Auschwitz.
If I were a rich man, yabba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum.
With the finger like a donkey.
Yellow Pages, let your fingers do the walking. Between Webby calling women horses and David Banner wanting women to finger like donkeys, I half expect PETA to chime in on this video. Furthermore, donkeys don't have fingers. You would think someone writing a sex song would possess at least a scant amount of knowledge of anatomy.
Let me see you play, if you can play with your monkey.
Banner, it sounds like you played with your monkey plenty all over this abomination. Then again, Banner also seems confused about to what sex he speaks.
Kitchen in your mouth like your last name Moss.
You mean Randy Moss, the football player? The one that has a face guard so nothing can go in his mouth?
I'll beat it like Mike when he fucked Billie Jean.
The entire point of Billie Jean denied those claims, you moron! To add insult to injury, David Banner defended his language in front of the United States Congress by blaming it on everyone else. Gang violence was here before rap music. Well, yes, but you don't get a pass to glorify it if it existed. You know what else existed before rap music? Decency. Before I unveil what I think ranks even worse than all 9 of those blemishes on pop culture, let's liven the mood a little bit and honor those songs with only 1 or 2 glaring flaws. I called this segment the Top 10 Dumbest Lyrics of 2005. Not already covered in this video.
Damn right, the true story. The city on fire, and I didn't even try. Run the streets all day, I could sleep when I die.
Cause if you're looking for me, you can find me on the block. The law.
They actually bleeped out the word disobeying. I see this as a counteraction to all the filth we slogged through already.
Let me hear you scream, oh. Girl, come on over and let's get this thing cracking. You'll be surprised when you see what else I'm back in.
Part of a complete breakfast.
But trust me, baby girl, always where you wanna be.
You sure?
The letter H.
I love it when you 1, 2 step. Everybody 1, 2 step. We about to get it on. This is for the hearing impaired.
You mean for the people that can't hear the song, Missy? Besides, if I wanted to listen to songs meant for those with auditory disabilities, I would put on some Queens of the Stone Age.
You should be living. Oh, baby, baby, you never go wrong if you let me hold you. Down, down, around, Atlanta, found.
Paging Shirley Ellis's lawyers on line 2.
A lot of money and I love to spend it. And that's for something I don't care what people scream. You're my blessing when I'm stressing, my super fly beauty queen. I'ma keep it saucy cause mama know how I do.
Stay away from your poor mother, Baby Bash. You know this year blew when this smug douche waffle could not make the top 10 proper.
What's so wrong? This girl with me, so pretty, she really. Body was so tight, I'm looking for her in the daytime with the flashlight.
I know most ushers in movie theaters carry flashlights, but this seems a bit unnecessary.
Turning your body, talking to me. Cancel that phone.
Yes.
The only sound I'm trying to hear is your.
Yes.
You riding topless, no. Long.
So naked. We call that naked.
Tell her don't show if it ain't heels and thongs.
Gosh, can't anyone enforce the dress code around here?
Cancel that phone. Your girl Janae home.
How can she check if she canceled her phone, guy? You'll have to call her yourself.
Next level chicks pull up in them hot cars, go by the whole pot. I came from the dirt, what you want me to say? I'm at the top of the world and like the buffet.
gives whole new meaning to the phrase, try the veal.
Go, 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 go. Together like chinchilla in bad weather.
Fur gets wet in the rain, Ja. Besides, the word umbrella fits just as easily, if not better. Of course, at least he knows how words should sound. Oh, you mean hyperbole? For a song all about songwriting, it helps to know how to say the words you wrote. At least Natasha struggled with a somewhat rare word. Everyone knows vacations take place away from your daily grind, Gavin. Hell, this whole song should qualify. This means nothing. I have no time to delve into this because we need to unfortunately move on to the worst of the worst. Number 1. Other songs in this video may stand out as more outlandish and obviously bad, but in order to top this list, you need to call from the worst elements of all of them. Terrible Lil Jon beat? Check. Insanely demeaning lyrics? Check. Uninvested performers with the mic presence of Bashful from the Seven Dwarfs? Check. A group who had to share their debut album with another act due to lack of things to say? Check, with apologies to Little Scrappy. Folks, welcome to Trillville. Tackling the obvious first, who thought the mattress squeak beat sounded good? Lil L.A., a.k.a. Lil Atlanta. Okay, new rule.
New rule.
You can't.
Been on your own, hey, in the moments, lady. You the one. A nigga made us out to come out.
I recall, I met your ass at the mall. In the fall. See the small ball on the tall wall. See it fall in a hall. See it crawl, give its all and call. Hey, y'all. See it stall, wear a shawl. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sexual positions of choice, and some form of nutting.
Again, bust a nut all over yourself.
With your legs to the ceiling, get your nuts on serious. You take it home, let you juggle my ball.
Can some-
Fat.
Cat.
Sat.
Hat. Fat.
Fat.
Fat. Cat.
Cat.
Cat. Sat.
Sat.
Sat. Hat.
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 The fat cat sat on a hat, saw a rat on the mat, got a bat, had a chat with a gnat that he'd pat in a vat that was flat. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Sesame Street is brought to you by the letter H.